Hello, my last gamer. Welcome to the video. I just wanted to let you know I do have a Discord and a Twitter if you ever want to interact with me or say hi or have a conversation. And if you ever want to catch these videos live, head over to my Twitch and my Kick and come hang out. I sometimes don't talk. That's unfortunately one of my mini quirks. Is my inability to formulate thoughts as my brain focuses in on what I'm doing, and then I'll just forget to speak. So I'm always up to hang out and chat with anyone that stops by. So hope you enjoyed the video. Well, sorry about that. OBS crashed and obliterated itself for no apparent reason. But it's time for late night Star Citizen. I can't get enough of this game, even though I had to go to work today. I have decided I want to play more of it, even though it's probably not a great idea. We're off to the 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓷 bunker. I'll take 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. That's it. 𝓥𝓵𝓮 nods towards the featureless asteroid. Those are the coordinates Jeannie gave me. You look out at the rock, it's like thousands and hundreds of thousands of other rocks in this sunward belt. All these objects much the same, spread across a huge circumference of space. A good place to hide something. That's it. Jeannie speaks up from the back of the cockpit. That's it. 𝓥𝓵𝓮 nods. She drifts forward, her eyes tracing the shape of the rock there. She points. That's the hexagonal center. She turns to you. That's the entry. I see it. Look at the dark spot on the already dark rock. It's start. Let me guess, another hatch for me to cut. You see Bliss smiling, having slipped in at the back of the cockpit and else. I'll get my torch. Look out at the unassuming rock and wonder what might it contain. A few dusty tunnels or something more? Time to go find out. Cut the seal. The hatch has been sealed. Intentionally, precisely cutting the seal away will be the safest thing to get entry. Force the hatch. Taking brute strength force to get inside the bunker will be faster, but also more dangerous. Of course, we're just gonna fucking cut the seal. The seal can be sliced and torn. Quicker progress, you're almost through. No, I'll push one of the dice. Access the spire. Oh, holy shit. You find an airlock standing in the way of the interior of the bunker. It's pristine condition. The spire leads into a vast space. What is this place? The only way to find out is the hacked doorway. Okay. The final doorway stands between the interior. security comes away in layers, the place locked up tight. I'm gonna have to take a day because I don't have the skill for this, and no one has the dice. I don't feel like fucking stressing people. There's no errors to exploit. The system that 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓲𝓃 code is outdated and simple. Soccer control system, the door clunks. You can get inside now. You enter the access spire. The crew suddenly went very quiet. The image of a vast space seen through the viewing windows. Pristine wall paneling of the cool and quiet. There is a sacred mood, or scared. No, not sacred. Scared mood to this place. A feeling of hallowed ground. Now, as the facility's final entry blocks and whirs, flooding the patch of the stale, dusty, 10,000 cycle old air, Junie speaks. Junie, Impossible. She drifts down the spire onto the cavernous interior. A constellation of red specks marks the vast extent of the space within it. A ring of monolithic buildings curve away, running along the circumference of the mass chamber. Follow her slowly out of the doorway and into the bunker. With a name like that, you can imagine. You had imagined low slope ceilings, stark tunnels, a basement cut into rock, but this place is a cathedral, a cocoon of the size of a city. Look at the ring, Bliss nods the vast structure circling the cavern. 𝓢𝓵𝓮 built alright. This almost looks like 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻's eye. Seeing the ring takes a while. Despite the empty space, no one wants to rush through it. The feeling of entering a sacred? Is that sacred? No, I just fucking misread that earlier. Their sacred territory remains, though the deeper you go inside, the more obvious it becomes that this place is more tomb than a temple. You touch down among the gray metal units, most of them featureless and dark. They tower above you now. Their plain frontage reveals little about their function and the interior. Stay close. Junie moves ahead into the gap between the two structures. This place, the labyrinth. Warden! I do remember the warden from the last game. Welcome, visitors. A pale flicker appears near one of the units. At the top of the square pedestal. I am the warden. Please provide access credentials. The flicker stabilizes no figure. A statue of pulsating light pauses for a moment before repeating its request. Junie freezes, and holding a calm hand to you, she retrieves her deck, sliding carefully from her back, and turns it on. Look over at the warden, who waits patiently, wide-eyed and absent, restating its security request with a regular rhythm. You guess that this avatar just exists to make human interaction comfortable. Its true body is the facility itself, this vast interior ring, specced with sensors and systems. Suddenly, the warden stops speaking, and then a flash of red crosses the corridor. Control not provided. Lockdown activating in 10, 9. You're Junie, whose eyes rapidly scanning the screen full of data. Festing. Vesning. Junie stumbles through the pronunciation of the passphrase. Litter is the what the fuck? She looks up at the warden's avatar expectantly. The warden focus again, distorts, then stabilizes. Oversight, correction, not active. Reattempting, it repeats, then again, and in the words, a regular rhythm. You look over Jedi, holding still as if encountering a wild animal. She meets your eye, but gives no indication of any action. Take. Looping bypass. Loop bypass engaged. Welcome, officer. And then Cenaric voice shifts to a different tone. 𝓢𝓽𝓪𝓻𝓸𝓻. The avatar's white eyes stare blank and blind and guests. Protocol's been active the entire time? Blow swippers. Surely it's not possible. Junai looks back at you and then at the warden. The figure flickers, staring out over your heads into the darkness. Are we good, Junai? Looks over at the warden. Warden, are we approved to access all facilities? Yes, Officer Deli. Warden replies, please remember, you're responsible for the conduct of your desk while visiting our facility. We should be careful. I don't like this. Bliss looks ahead. Bliss looks at the dead-eyed avatar. Move forward, pushing between the structures towards the large building and the hopes it holds the facility's central data core. As you do, you pass benches and barren gardens, desiccated grass, a drinking bottle floats in the air among the dust motes. This place is dead. Beware, officer, the warden reappears in the dark, shimmering pistol. Due to the facility's extended run cycle and the activation of the hibernation protocol, access central data store is strictly limited. However, if you wish to show your guest the habitation facilities, I'm sure you'll enjoy the tour. The avatar remains expressionless, disconnected from the voice that it accompanies. On a personal note, I'm glad to see you return to the facility. The figure flickers. I'm happy to report that I'm ready for program reactivation at any time. He stares at the other. Thank you, Warden. She pauses. Can I ask how long the hibernation protocol is activated? Certainly. 11,473 73 Hellion standard cycles ago. And in error, I apologize, some subsystems have not been properly maintained. I need my fucking calculator, because I'm actually going to calculate how many years that is. If we're going by a 365-year calendar, I don't know the standard years in the system, but 11,000 a cycle's just a day. 473 divided by 365. That was 31 years ago, 31 and a half years ago that the collapse happened, I'm assuming. Unless years are recorded differently in the system. Look at the blind avatar sitting its pedestal waiting for an order that will never come. So many cycles in the dark, patiently holding this place together as it fell apart, resisting entropy and entropy, my brain, and its bubble of the past. Thank you, Warden. That'll be all. Junai nods to the avatar, which promptly blinks out of existence, leaving only dust and the dark. She turns to you and speaks quietly, though. None of you know what sensors the Warden's vast body might have. My access, it won't last long. We need to make the most of it. Well, we should search the facility. Because the problem is... The Warden will likely allow that, but our presence probably won't be tolerated for very long. Let's go on with it. Explore the happy hundreds have lived and worked here. The facility is evidence. Alright, so I need to balance out exploring. There's well-preserved components. I don't have the skills to really interface with this, nor does Junie. Room is unsettling quiet. The habitants of the facility, a soft silence blankets the room in the hallways. It's obvious from the number of rooms, the detritus, the scale of the place, built to house hundreds, maybe thousands of people. Perhaps it did, perhaps the height of Solheim's control system, these are built with life. What kind would it have been maintaining, running a secret installation inside of distant rock? No sun to speak of, no. That beyond the vast caverns surround you, an eternal dark punctuated by the flash of artificial light. And yet in such a place lives 𝓢𝓻𝓪𝓻. You know yourself from being a sleeper, from your work among the other sleepers in those wretched and distant corners of surrogate systems. Even in the endless dark, people find ways to live. Come on, take a look. Junie searches through her own. A few rooms away, glide through an open doorway into the living room with the couches that meant for Zoji use, a magnetic table. The window looks out over regular constellations of red that describes the limits of the world. This world, Junie holds the object that makes you stop and stare. Blinking, it seems to be usual. Seems like a versal of scale. It's a model, you realize, of the rig. Not your rig, obviously, but a rig, or a MEV Regier class, as the base tells you. Mobile extraction vehicle. Junie follows your eyes. The plaque reveal she frowned seriously. That's why they call them rigs? She laughs. Noise bounces back on the cruel, empty room. What does the Regier mean, anyway? He sighs. Another Solheim mystery. It's either a naming convention or by the original person who designed it. Look at the model, still fascinated by seeing your ship rendered in such careful detail. You imagine smell meant to those who live here a child's toy, meaningless corporate knick-knack. The model's purpose remains opaque. So many of these flying around the system before the collapse, you know? Turns the model over in her hand. Solheim used to rent them out to colonists. I've seen the records. That was what they did here. They claimed the system. They then, rather than exploit themselves, they provided good services to those who could. The workers paid for the transit system, and then the accommodations equipment, access to the mining claims. The corps like PR or Neuravid paid for Solheim access to this closed market to provide them other services. Meanwhile, Seabill paid even more to test terraforming tech in the system. They built massive projects here, rich from the work they only facilitated but never undertook. But then they collapsed? Yeah, that's what happened when you're built on other people's work. A few high-profile accidents, malfunctions. The exodus began. Once that it starts, the shareholders lose trust, and Junie squints out the window. Here we are, at the far end of it. Here. Junie turns and hands you the rig model, a gift. Take it, turn over in your hands. You see something at the base, words scratched, and you can't read. You run your fingers over them, touching the past. That's the closest thing to a treasure, I think. We'll turn up out of here. These people who worked at this place didn't have much to their names, it seems. And what they little did have, well, 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 owned that too. She leads you out of the hab unit, passing countless doors, some sealed, some open, leading countless rooms where countless employees lived lives or tried to in the shadow of 𝓢𝓵𝓮. Like it or not, this is what made the Hellion system, what built the decaying structures you cling to as they orbit their star. What that legacy means now is a decision every resident of the Star World Belt has to make. The problem is I don't really care about getting components. Maybe I should. Ideal is to rip out the physical storage suddenly, of course. Tracking the entire cache might alert the warden, so Dad needs to scrape the layer by layer. Or need to rest. Alright, so failing pisses the warden off. So I'd rather just push another cycle. Ah, yeah, there we go. We got the good dice. Done. Junai removes the cable from the data core port, picks up the boxy piece of hardware, the one that wouldn't fit inside of any ship short of a freighter. She stares at the dormed cradle ceiling above, the innocuous apex letting a shafted light into the hall. It's a grand piece of architecture for what amounts to a massive piece of data storage. 𝓢𝓵𝓮 always did have a sense of grandeur when it came to this project. Why should a secret signal monitoring system be any less opulent than its other buildings? Find anything good? Hard to tell. She squints the vast data core. There's too much in there. I barely scratched the surface. We'll only know what's really in there when I have time to process it. Should go. Sighs. I'm not sure how the warden will react. She looks back over her shoulder at the vast core. I don't think we'll be let back and to get more. As if listening to its name, the warden suddenly appears on its one of the pedals and stares to us across the halls, his eyelids way above your forehead. 𝓥𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓃. Its voice sounds strange now and stretched, drawn out. I've detected inconsistency in the essential data core. I believe there's been unauthorized access. J looks at you nervous. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. I'll investigate when I can, but for now, my guest and I. She looks at you. Have to depart. The warden flickers. The warden's bends and warps. The warden screeches. A pulse of digital noise. Of course, the warden's voice still broken, slowed. I hope you enjoyed your visit to this facility. Gia looks up at the blind statue. Something moving inside it, making its skin as if it's had a skin bend away from its body weight. You wait, floating in the dust. Junai approaches the pedestal. Officer Dai, can I ask when you'll return? The warden blinks its wet eyes. The facility's been idle for many cycles. Without reactivation, we may face further difficulties in maintenance. The warden pulses, has been so long. We watch as Junie approach the pedestal. I don't think I'll be able to return. I'm sorry, Warden. Warden flashes red for a moment. A pulse so small you could almost believe you imagined it. This is as I expected, Officer Dao. The warden is still now. The lips no longer moving as they speak. Its chest no longer moves. Emily, breath. It is a statue. Thank you for your honesty. It's been an honor to serve. I recommend you leave swiftly. With that, the warden blinks out. You and Junie kick off the rig outside the core and rise up towards the spire you entered through. As you do, you watch a few red lights embedded in the framework of the cavern flicker. As you ascend to the dark, do you think the warden is sentient? I mean, as a sleeper, maybe you... She goes on, I think you might know. From my understanding of the lore and how advanced AI has become, given it a time, AI does become sentient. Or at least has a higher understanding of what's going on. It could have become sentient. Because there was multiple AIs that had became sentient inside of the first game. I do remember that. And while the AI that's in my head is technically more sentient than a normal protocol, since the collapse, is that possible? I suppose with no oversight from Solheim technicians, the protocol could have developed redundancies in learning systems. Paused. Seems unlikely it could learn to think, though. She looks up at the approaching spire. Lissa's waiting for you at the access spire. Time to close up. Let's get on with it. Junai cycles the airlock, and as you go through in your suits and the helmets ascending the sealed spire, and as you do, you look out the viewing windows and something catches your eye. The ring and lights and those few left on in the cavern are turning off layer by layer. You turn to Junai, and she's already looking out the opposite side. The warden's shutting it all down. Junai pauses. She's ending it. You have to force the hatchback at the top. By the time you do, the spire's dark inside. The pristine hall's no longer lit. Count out the cavern of stars, an impossible number of them spread out in every direction. Take a moment to look at them. After being tucked away in the bunker, they seem impossibly bright and impossibly beautiful. You glance across Junai, and she sees is looking up at the stars and okay. We get the stars too absorbed in the light, as if doing so might lift her out of the time into another one, where things were different. Oh, I could have just gone back in after she shut herself down and then looted. But there isn't anything left. Seraphin settles the rig at Holmes Rock, the old Solheim array, glinting in the sun. Looking at the station, you suddenly remember the model Jinji gave you and take it out of your pocket. Seeing it in full light, you notice it's made from cast metal, surprisingly detailed and robust looking. Look at that! He glides over. Seraphin glides over. It's a mini rig. Let him take it. He turns it over in his hand, looking at it. What a find. He gazes at the model ship. What can you do with it? Mounted on your console. Mounted on your console. Really? Seraphin grins. Well, we can do that for sure. He looks at the model for a moment and then pats you on the shoulder. Good call. Everyone can enjoy it here. He then takes the model and glides it over to his console. I'll get it sorted. He turns back, smiling. Gonna look great. Sleeper? Unai puts a hand gently on your shoulder. You turn to see her smiling a rare smile. Thank you for going out on a limb for me. I know it wasn't the most profitable job, but what we found I'll be thinking about for, well, ever. Magic extract some data we can use. I'm going to search through everything we pulled from the bunker. I want to show you it's worthwhile. It was worthwhile. He nods. I'm glad you think so. Also, I'll start seeing where to find the kind of tools I need to work with data like this. Her smile fades already. Placed by a familiar determined stare. We can't let this go to waste. But my deck is not going to be enough. Dark side might be the only option. It's the biggest remaining Solheim facility in the belt. She sighs. I'll look into it. Either way, thanks for bringing me with you. I'm glad to be a part of this. She smiles the smile returns. For as long as you'll have me. She looks away nervously, then before you can respond, she's gone. Off to find the corner of the ship where she can dig through the data she pulled from the past in order to build a better future. Major drive completed! Yippee! Alright, time to do work. I might as well stock up on fuel, even though probably should stock up on supplies as well. Well, supplies are really expensive here, so I might as well not stock up on supplies. Well, I guess I could spend a day here. No, we're not spending a day here. We're gonna head over to Wellspring for Seraphim. As he brings the ship into Wellspring, the docking ring, you notice a rare tension in Seraphim's piloting. He jerks the stick a little too hard while docking. The bridge extends. The proximity alarm goes off. He curses under the breath. You okay there? Just fine, sleeper. His eyes. Just fine, sleeper. He keeps his eyes on the monitors. I'll go get Bliss to look at the lateral thrusters. It's a little bit sticky. That's not what I meant. Seven doesn't respond, but you see the grip and the ring control get a little tired. As the ship stops, the docking bridge connects. You lean forward, look out the cockpit, trying to get a good view of the icy surface of the wellspring below. The harsh, gleaming ice gives way to the steep sides of the cut. The asteroid, one city, it glows, streams of warmth, peering down into it. You cannot see the bottom. Beyond, along the horizon, you see the turrets of the pit head where the current extraction effort must be taking place. Jennifer runs down the shutdown weekends and unclips from his seat and turns back to you, a flinty look in his eye. I'm going to head down to the cut. If you leaves to follow up, you can sense he isn't asking for permission. Let me help. You can check out the city if you want, but I'm not following on Super. This is my trail to follow. Before you can respond, he pushes past, glides out the cockpit. You turn to watch as he passes Bliss in the doorway. Miss something? Bliss shoots. Look, he seems even worried than usual. He's looking for his sister. Bliss raises an eyebrow. Family trouble? That explains the irritationals. I would recommend they zip up their jacket. We go after him, where he pushes past someone that pushes back. I probably doesn't want anyone to. Let's leave him to it. Fine, but we're going to need a pilot if you ever want to leave this place. Hope he's feeling sensible. Like, a stop over at Wellspring for a bit, then they zip up your jacket. I'll be in the markets. At least Lane's unlikely to come out here to pick a fight with the 𝓢𝓽𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 syndicate. Bliss shrugs. You turn to head towards the dock, whistling softly as they do. Eugen comes out of the doorway as Bliss passes. He stretches and squints at you. Permission to find a bar down there? This man just wants to drink. You convince? I'm joking. I know I don't need to ask. He winks and follows Bliss. I'll wait on the ship. Duna's voice echoes through the thin interior of the wall corridors. I got an archiving to catch up on. She pauses, and then there's no order. And there's nothing older than 1,000 cycles on the snowball anyway. Wellspring, the base for the 𝓢𝓽𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 syndicate. As you know, or as you look out across the icy surface, you remember Malik, captain whose ship you saved, and for whom you surveyed the ice asteroid. You remember how you promised to repay your actions if you ever come past again. Perhaps Wellspring's a good place for you to make that happen. After all, Seraphim's sister is here. Surely the 𝓢𝓽𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 syndicate would be the best place to find her. Dirty, wet, thriving, with a cut as large, layered industrial cities as intimidating as its inhabitants. Sure, you can wander around, but 𝓢𝓽𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 runs the place, and surely you can learn everything you know by just tuning into their chatter or act like a local. The cut built 𝓢𝓽𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 workers like for a brash and bold atmosphere, you need to say go explore. I literally cannot socialize, so I'm gonna be trying to hack the Will Spring facility with a Lothic pass, like any workers of Cynic Mayor's character to be able to get access. Okay, so I need to probably. Oh, I also don't even have the lane tracker. Just like he's like, oh, they went to Lothic space. God damn, I gotta look for them to come back out. You've got to sense which passages wander, avoiding the steams of the vertical city. Amazing to think this place supplies most of the belt's water. Bliss looks across the cut water at the workers in the distinctive yellow gear. No wonder the syndicate like runs it like a corporation. Look at the gathered in low ceiling 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓸𝓻 bar, gathered around cushioned couches and low magnetic tables. Their voices bounce off the metal walls. They wear Lothic clothing, a mark of their status as contractors for the belt's most powerful syndicate. The far side table of the bar, you spot Eugen perched at a magnetic table with a bunch of miners. He appears to be playing some sort of local dice game. Although, given the amount of alcohol involved, it's hard to tell if gambling or drinking's the focus. Looking back to Bliss, who's watching another group, they quietly discuss something serious up his corner. Lothic gets the job done. Bliss turns back at the bar and sips their drink. Metal straw. Well, that's the thing. Been looking around the 𝓥𝓮𝓷𝓻 and searching out components in the market. Down there, people don't seem very happy. Bliss meets your eye. There's a lot of talk of contracts, it seems. Lothic has been locking down its workers, giving the war and the intersystem as an excuse. They play with their metal straws, swirling the orb of liquid and their sealed glass. Precious building, sleeper. We shouldn't hang around here much longer. We need to give Seraphim some time. Well, Bliss raises his eyebrow. It sounds like I'm not the only outsider who's been hanging out in the castle. I heard someone's complaining about rude young man asking too many questions. Bliss smiles. Who else could that be? We laugh. That's the place to start if you want to find our boy. They said he's wandering about Rhyme Market. I have no idea where that is. Bliss looks across the bar. Definitely a touchy subject for the locals, though. I'll head out now. Bliss nods. I'll finish my drink. Let me know how it goes. Oh yeah, they smiled when saying that. Anyway, you leave Cutwater, shouldering your way through the crowd of Boltrus contractors. There's a conspiratorial mood to the conversations that now Bliss mentions, and you wonder what's all the talk about. You hear a bellowing laugh from Eugen as you slip out of the door. Better leave him to it. You feel a sudden cold as you leave this streaming bar and enter one of the icy passages. Ice passages cut into the asteroid itself. All the water in the hands of a single syndicate. Something goes wrong here. The belt will die of thirst long before the war reaches it. You turn up your collar of your jacket against the cold and head to 𝓥𝓮𝓷𝓻. Oh, I kept calling it fucking Crimson. We need fuel, definitely. How much fuel here? Fucking 3. It's amazing. 𝓥𝓮𝓷𝓻. Bliss said Seraphim's hunting for the Rhyme Market. Wherever that is, you need to know the area and its hidden ways to fight. Hidden Rhyme, Seraphim's asking what about the rhyme market, wherever that is. Find it, you'll find your pilot. Something about the flow of people, goods is wrong here. More people enter than leave. Boxes appear down alleyways. You close. Notice graphic marking of some sort in the shops in front of the heaters. Perhaps lead somewhere. Well, I'll either do that tomorrow. Alright, I'm gonna have them search and hunt down supplies. How expensive is supplies here? Still pretty expensive. Dark corner lies in front of you. Markings on the right. This is the place. Markets of 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 have become familiar. Past cycles. They're streaming orange-lit depths, the pristine condensation of each unit's windows, the gleam of amber worker suits, each contributing to the particular atmosphere of this buried city. But among this, you've noticed other details too. The freelance crews on the hunt for illicit tech, the conversing workers who drop to a whisper when you pass, the light flickering up through floor grates suggesting even deeper layers. These are details you followed to the Rhyme Market, a place discussed in hushed tones, dimly lit rooms, and as you drift towards what you know is one of its entrances, the door bursts open in front of you. Large, dark bundle glides out of the door and impacts the metal wall of the passage. Like when bangs, your eyes are drawn by the imposing figure that hovers in the door, bracing himself on the frame. Kirk, stay out of the Rhyme Market, rat. The man sends a orb of spit spinning after the bundle. The bundle unfolds, and you suddenly recognize 𝓤𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓷 straightening out, getting right back, going up. I don't have a gauge, that's not gonna work. What's going on? The man turns towards you as you shout, and 𝓤𝓵, seeing an opportunity, kicks offhand, flying, swinging fists. The two tumble in a flurry of blows, slamming into the door until man gets his legs between him and 𝓤𝓵 kicks him into the wall. 𝓤𝓵 hits hard, floats away. A few crimson buzzles off at his best, but I gotta go to him. You go out of his 𝓤𝓵 as he shakes himself awake. If you ever see it, put yourself between him and the figure. You know, when you've been beaten, rat, the man calls out, it's time to go home and lick your wounds. 𝓤𝓵 excels in frustration, his anger fading, replaced by stinging pain of his injuries. You watch a perfectly round blob of blood bomb his nose. What? You want to explain to me what's happening? The record? The man folds his arm. This one started. He looks between the two of you. It's snooping around our meeting like a rat. You'll see a sharp-eyed, recalculating the situation since your arrival. I wasn't snooping, I was looking for someone. He glares. You'd take a minute to talk to me before throwing a punch, maybe you would have gotten to that. Man scratches his beard, squinting at 𝓤𝓵. Say I believe you. What were you doing at the meeting then? Missing person in our business. All I heard was where this is where the locked contractors meet. Seraphim sighs. I don't like hearing that, not at all. I'm going to need to ask who told you that later. He straightens up, but yeah, this is where the contractors meet. After that's anything to you. Same person I'm looking for is a contractor. Seraphim's frustration rises. She's a cover name in Luz. He pauses in desperation and argues, please, I think she might be my sister. Something changes in the man's stance. He holds a massive hand silent. Seraphim looks down at the patches in both directions. Not here. He retreats to the door. Get in. As you both enter, he reaches past you and slams the metal door behind, spinning the lock wheel with one hand. I'm Kirk, he grunts, pointing at himself, the thick thumb. Contractors are my concern, but if 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 catches us discussing contracts out here, he shakes his head. He turns and leads you down a passage. You pass an open door. You glance inside. You see a group of gathered in a circle. All of them in workers' clothes. They are speaking in hushed voices. One of them exchanges a nod with the Kirk. Let's not interrupt the meeting anymore, shall we? He glances playfully at Seraphim, who remains silent. Kirk leads you to the side, massive ventral metal pipe with a rough hole in the side. He beckons you both inside. You descend through the pipe in silence and darkness. Suddenly you come out through the ceiling, a wide, low hall. As far as you can see, crooked stalls, makeshift shelters dot the ground floor. It's lit by scavenged lanterns, light strips, steam drips up through the grates concealing the room so you cannot see the walls. Welcome to the Rhine Market. Kirk gestures a thick hand at the ramshackle door. 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 don't know about this place. He smiles. Let's get a drink. He leads you off to a nearby stall with a set of improvised tools welded to the floor in front. He looks at his legs, or he hooks his legs onto one, and you and Seraphim in a whole suit. He holds up 3 fingers to the stall owner, and a drink and a straw-pierced packet is handed to each of you. Seraphim skeptically looks at the drink. We're friends now or something? Look, he takes a sip. I'm not gonna apologize for putting you on your ass. That's on you, but like I said, I represent the contractors. If someone's part of the family, well, he shrugs his massive shoulders, then deserve to be heard out at least. Know who we're looking for? Luz, he said? I know Luz for sure. Describe her. Kirk leans back on his stool. I'm not giving you anything more than you until you prove she's your sister. Seraphim closes his eyes. Dark hair. Used to wear it long, messy, bright-eyed, broad shoulder. See a little twitch around his eyes as he recalls. Tough but kind. Tattoos. Nervous laugh. He opens his eyes. He wants to Kirk. That enough? Kirk sniffs. Yeah, that's her. You feel something jumping up. Seraphim, almost incomprehensible tension rising. It's her. It's his sister. Luz. Kirk speaks slowly. He's drunk between, or whatever her name is the one the contractors here. She is part of the most recent contractors. 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 registers. That means. Just tell me where she is, Seraphim demands, as impatient as he can get better room. As I was saying, Kirk gives Seraphim a pointed look. Those new contractors are restricted to the pit head. In fact, that's what we're discussing when you interrupted our meeting. Seraphim looked away in frustration but holds his tongue. Since the war, 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 been trying to lock down Wellspring. They went from a loose association of mining groups to an autocracy, started enforcing contracts in some seriously overreaching terms. Your sister, she's on one of those contracts. 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 acting like they own her, and the others, because according to their contract they do, which exactly why we want to do something about it. The cycle. He forcefully taps the bar finger. We're voting on a strike action full blockade of 𝓤𝓲𝓽𝓮𝓷. We'll bring the syndicate to the table. I'm gonna stay with Kirk. Kirk watches your friend go disappear. Go where he does a pointed look in his eyes. Your friend will go to 𝓤𝓽𝓪𝓻𝓿 Syndicate. I know it. He sips his drink. Sips from his drink. They won't help him there. Kirk's bright eyes meet yours. The Syndicate will do nothing for him or you. Trust me. I want to help you, Sleeper. I want to help your friend, but I need you to help in return. I want to help. Good. I knew you would. Kirk places a plastic pass card in your hand. It glints. Mark the block Syndicate. A blurry photo ID limited into the transparent interior. This will get you in the pinhead, and you can see for yourself what's happening there. Don't follow your friend to 𝓤𝓽𝓪𝓻. Go to the pinhead and find Law yourself. You meet your eye. When you do, come back to me. Discuss how to free her and everyone else like her. If you go to 𝓤𝓽𝓪𝓻, if you meet them, I can't help you. He releases your forearm and drifts back into the crowd, disappearing into this steam of darkness. You catch up with Seraph in the bustle of the Rhine market along with the steam of crowds. I can't have been the only one who saw his pitch coming from a mile away. What kind of idiot thinks we are? What is this about? It's about getting my sister out of whatever mess she's gotten into. Sheriff starts to push through the crowd towards the exit tunnel. We need to speak to 𝓤𝓽𝓪𝓻. Forget these clowns. We don't need to get tied up with this. We need to get her out. Seraphim forges on ahead. You caught in the crowd behind him as he disappears from view. You curse his impatience. You float for a moment, buffered by passing people clutching onto 𝓤𝓽𝓪𝓻 pass. You decide what to do next. Alright, let's go find the sister first before you fucking talk to the Syndicate. So I can buy rare components here. Can I upgrade the 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻? Of course, let's go speak to his fucking sister. Shaft contains a flow of contracts, but you're determined to find Luz on all of his faces. Join the work crew. The best way to find Luz is to infiltrate the work crew and gain access to... just fucking look for her. Sounds like a waste of my time. Mine's vast, filled with workers, patient, could find Seraph and sister, you know it. Apparently, Locke and contractors are working deeper in the shaft you need to explore. Getting down to the deepest part of the shaft, with a tip-off that Luz is there. The shaft descends toward the sum, and the depths of the pit here are The air is freezing cold to prevent the ice from melting into globules, floating water. If you branch carried water, you'll be able to see it in the air. But the absence of steam and the oceans only just serves to remind you of your own strangeness. Nothing anyone would else notice. The workers' heads are low, their eyes fixated on their work, shuttling chunks of ice tools on the shaft, and nearby tunnels you can see bright sparks of cutting ice. Progress slabs hanging in the air that strange way they do in the 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓬𝓙. Some loose memories of the time before the dark side, before lane, before freedom come into your mind. The familiar, the cold, the spark, stainless toil chills you more than packed ice on the other side you could. You reach the bottom of the shaft, a metal grill marking a terminus. It skills as you push open the bar door it set into, and safety lights flicker on, lighting up the glittered ice particles all around and their hard beams. It is as if all the stars are held here in this cavern. So just a massive space comes into focus. It seems you have no up or down, just countless dark shafts, terraced pits cut into the side all around, surrounded by their work lights. The contractors cut and haul and gather. This is where the locked-in workers are being held, caught in a contract clause that permits an endless shift. The atmosphere is grim. In the center of the cavern floats a construction welded together habitation units, twisted of cable stretching this improvised structure past you up past the shaft behind, tethering to a central power source. On each side of the 6 sides of this strange apartment block are a set of struts project outward, bracing the construction against the cavern walls. The block itself was wrapped in an insulation clad in protective plates. It glows with a small apparatus of light and lights. You approach the nearest entrance. Everything is bitten by rust, by decay. If the bars of the entrance weren't clear enough, it's obvious now this place is a prison. The door scissors open, letting a blast of warm air. You quickly duck inside to seal rapidly behind you. The cramped interior passage grows warmly, but ragged conditions keep it from feeling cozy. Follow the corridor, ducking beneath hanging wires, loose installation. It's where you're told to find Wells, or whatever her real name is. You come into a communal mess. Counters and food preparation units fit into walls, cushions, stools, couches scattered around. A couple of contractors are stretched out space, one of them snoring loudly in the corner, another sipping from a food packet stool. Suddenly a door far side opens. The cavern, a flurry of ice shards that quickly became scattered orbs of water. You watch the figures, they glide into the warm light, tear, dark hair, bright eyes. You know who you're looking for. Sarah for the sister. You meet eyes with her, and something sparks in that dull, clawing room, as if she recognizes you. Sleeper? She holds a haze stuck in her forehead of sweat, her eyes adjusting the interior. Wells? She nods slowly. You see her scan you, taking in your clothes, the way you hold your face. For a moment, you feel exposed, aware of the damage to your violent skin, your industrial markings, your doll-like features. You feel a familiar sense of being objectified, but there's also something more below it, a recognition of what you are. She blinks, exhales, shakes her head, realizing she's mistaken. Give me a second, alright? I've just finished cutting 100 cubic meters of ice. She pulls back her hood. I haven't seen you down here before. They just contract you up or something? The tension drops, but the feeling she isn't quite looking at you. She crosses to a food unit, pulls out a packet, slotted into a warmer, thumbs it on. First sleeper I've seen in a long while. Just look, take her eyes off, slowly warm her food. DJ! It was good. I see that you're still awake. You okay down here? I know you folks are tough and stick with a job. That's good. The rest I can show you once we've eaten. She laughs a little to herself. Do you want to play more software tonight, or what? It was good. Work was good. Tiring. Yippee! More software. Alright, just give me a minute. Because I'm in the middle of a little story thingamabob. I'm here with your brother. My brother? She pauses, eyes not leaving the word. I think you have me confused with someone else. You're not listening. She turns to face you and sees a wet shine in her eyes. What are you going to do about it? You realize you need to tell her. Seraphin's on the wellspring. The warm chimes let her know her food packet's ready. She does not seem to notice. Seraphin takes a ragged breath. Here? Not here, at the cut. She nods, then shakes her head. Well, if he trusts you with his name, I guess I could trust you with mine. She comes closer. I'm Talia. The smell's warming out. Now, where's my idiot brother? I'll take you to him. I'm not sure. She laughs. Does this sound like my Sierra? Been missing for years. Finally doesn't want to be found. Talia seems to take on some energy. She glances between towards the border behind you and the door it's in. I sure hope you have a plan, Sleeper, because they're not going to want us locked in contractors at getting out. She moved towards the corridor. There's a security in the shaft, and then at the pit head. You must have passed through the checkpoint at the entrance. I doubt we can bypass all those. She grabs your food, smiles at you, shepherds you towards the corridor. You can run a distraction maybe, where Sarah's already on that. Slightly taken aback by a sudden change. We're going to have to... A blazing alarm sounds at the habitation module loud enough to wake sleeping contractors. Tarla exchanged glances. Surely this cannot be for you. Tala rushes down the corridor, tears open the door for him, with you following close behind. The ice shatters, glittering the interior light. The cavern is in chaos. You see dark-suited Lothic security wrestling contractors lit by red alerts. More contractors are coming up, and the door, the grill you've entered, carrying bulky equipment. The equipment is blaring a loud voice, Kirk's voice, echoing down the cavern. A look of panic crosses Talia's face. A general strike now in effect. Contractors should down their tools and hold in place. Extractors will cease until our terms are met. Kirk's voice distorts and shifts. We've blockaded all traffic to and from Wellspring. We seek resignation of the Syndicate's leadership and for a new Workers' Council to be installed in place. This cycle, we will shut down the shaft. Any worker not willing to strike should leave now. There is a screech of noise and the message that begins repeating. You watch security push back, being pushed back towards the rail, outnumbered by the gathering workers. Talia looks at guidance. What do you want to do? Talia looks around the cavern. Red lights flicking her eyes. She sighs. I need to stay. I won't abandon the others. What about 𝓤𝓵? Tell my brother what's happening. Tell him I'm not leaving until all's for free. Talia backs away, glancing over her shoulder at the others. You see them gathering tools to be locked away at the HAB module. I need to see this through, Sleeper, and you need to go. Find 𝓤𝓵, do what you can from there. Help us change this place. And with that, she turns and glides off towards the others. You can head for the grill quickly as you can, now cleared by the way of the contractors. The handful of Lothric security push back up somewhere near the pit head. As you ascend, the other contractors shooting you dark looks. As you do, you realize you have to speak with Kirk. So much lore. You find Kirk at the pit head, directing contractors to barricade the entryway. Points to the mine. So you took my advice. Good. We're glad to have you as an ally here, Sleeper. What's happening now? The syndicate was arrogant. Did not believe we could do this. Kirk gestures toward the contractors welding pallets across the checkpoints. Far outnumber them, and the monopoly ends here. How can I help? Kirk then leads you a little away from the contractors. If you want to free those, like 𝓤𝓵's sister, I need your help. We have ships, but not many. The syndicate will have still has tankers in operation. But it is not complete. The debris fields between here and the far stem will remain open. Another tanker to occupy and to sway the syndicate from trying to pass. All of our ships are in use, but your crew could take a tanker and secure blockade. You want me to storm a tanker? This will not be an assault. Put your hand to shit. The tanker headstream has been held outside the wellstream for many cycles. The crew is tired and sympathetic to her cause. She need to give them a nudge. I cannot speak for my life. My character doesn't have social skills. This is a poor idea. I'm not to beat them up. Ship will pose a in distress trader trapped inside the debris field. Can then head when the headstream is obliged to rescue or aboard and occurs the crew take control. You want to incite the mutiny. Trust me when I say the captain does not deserve to be in charge. This is liberation. I swear to God, if this is Malik, I will flip the table. I will. I knew you would. To have you in our cause, Sleeper. Suddenly, Kirk puts down 2 fingers in his mouth, blasts a shrill whistle. Contractor quickly approaches with a large box, marked by screens and dials, backed by loose cables. You'll need this NAS to navigate the debris fields. NAS at the contractor. Gene will install it in your ship. Or the genes will install it in your ship. Consider this as a gift from our cause to yours. He nods once more. Gene passes by you, headed with the lift to the docking ring with the new module. Provide Hellstream's coordinates. Moves away towards the contractors working checkpoints. I'll wait for your word. You leave the pit head behind, your mind racing. You don't know if you have ended up in the middle of all this. You do know that will be all up to your pilot, to your pilot, your way out. Sleeper, 𝓤𝓵 comes fast towards you. What's happening? I heard the head's being taken over by Kirk's guys. You realize this is gonna take a lot of explaining. Alright, so my character's probably not gonna spend too much time more here, so I'm just gonna buy the rest of the supplies. And then go to the rig. On jobs. Alright, so with that saved, I'm going to end the Citizen Sleeper 2 for now. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a subscription, leave a comment, a like. Maybe head over to my Twitch and Kick and follow me there and say hi. I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day.
The night is young, but it feels so old. A story written, yet never told. The mask is heavy, the air